Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. I welcome you to the series History, Science and Faith in Islam. This session is on Babur and the origins of the Mughal Empire of South Asia. Zahiruddin Muhammad Babur, who lived between 1483 and 1530, founder of the Mughal dynasty in the subcontinent, was a descendant of Taimur from his father's side and of Genghis Khan from his mother's side. Since Taimur himself was a Tatar and married into a Birlas Turkish family, it was also claimed that Babur was a Turk. The word Mughal is a Farsi corruption for Mongol, and it stayed with Babur's dynasty, even though the House of Babur preferred an association with the name of his great-great-grandfather Taimur and called themselves Taimurids. In the year 1500, the India-Pakistan subcontinent was a border state in the larger Islamic world. It was somewhat insulated from Central Asia due to its geography, the high Hindu Kush mountains and the difficult passes on the Pakistan-Afghanistan border. But it was a prize that no would-be conqueror could disregard. The rich Indo-Gangetic plains and the southern highlands of the Deccan were net exporters of goods up until the 18th century. Since ancient times, the spices, ivory, iron, and manufactured goods of the subcontinent were valued all over the world. Traders from the Roman Empire and later from the Islamic Empire, based in Baghdad, carried on a brisk trade with the western coast of India. To the northwest, the Silk Road to China and the land route to Tabriz brimmed with commercial activity. The traders paid for the spices in gold and silver, and so the subcontinent had a net surplus inflow of precious metals. Much of the wealth found its way to the rulers and the principal cities such as Delhi, Lahore, Multan, Surat, and Deccan. These cities became rich prizes for a potential conqueror. It was for this reason that India was plundered time and again by invaders in search of loot. Often, the conquerors liked the easy life of Hindustan, settled down, and founded new dynasties. Sometimes, as it happened with Taimur, circa 1400, and Nadir Shah, 1739, they just took the loot and departed. Others, like the British, took the loot and stayed as long as they could to continuously exploit the land. The collapse of the Timurid Empire threw Central and West Asia into turmoil. Out of this turmoil grew new empires. Shah Ismail I, the head of the Safaviya Brotherhood, successfully consolidated his power in Persia and founded the Safavid dynasty. Zahiruddin Babur, a Timurid prince, was a contemporary of Shah Ismail. He was the son of Omar Sheikh, a Timurid prince, who had inherited the bountiful valley of Farghana, including Timur's capital city of Samarkand. Omar Sheikh, who ruled Farghana from the town of Andijan, died in 1494 when Babur was a boy of 11. In the usual Timurid tradition, there was a scramble among Omar Sheikh's brothers and sons to grab the throne. Babur's uncle Sultan Ahmed was the first to make his move, but Ahmed's sudden death and the incapability of his sons left Babur in possession of Farghana and Samarkand. The infighting continued with Babur and his brother Jahangir jostling for advantage. Meanwhile, to the east of Farghana, a powerful Uzbek kingdom had arisen, headed by Muhammad Shaybani Khan. The Uzbeks expanded to the north at the expense of the Mongols, and to the west at the expense of the Timurids. Taking advantage of the infighting in the house of Timur, Shaybani invaded Farghana in 1501, defeated Babur at the Battle of Sarepol, and occupied Samarkand. Babur fled and for 3 years wandered around the hills of Afghanistan and the plains of Khorasan. He made several attempts to recapture Samarkand, but each time suffered defeat at the hands of Shaybani. Babur and his descendants, the great Mughals of Delhi, never gave up their claims on Samarkand. As late as 1630, Emperor Shah Jahan, great-grandson of Babur, launched an unsuccessful expedition from Agra to recapture Samarkand. In the political turmoil of the times, there were always opportunities for an enterprising prince. Babur found a home in Kabul, which he took in 1504. Meanwhile, the Uzbek advance continued southward. In 1505, Shaybani invaded the territories of Hussein Baikhara, another Timurid prince who ruled from the city of Herat. In response to a request for help from Baikhara, Babur advanced towards Herat but withdrew because Baikhara died in 1506 before Babur could reach there. The Uzbeks continued their advance in Khorasan, taking Merv and Nishapur as well. The Uzbek capture of Khorasan brought Shah Ismail of Persia into the fray. In 1510, Ismail advanced into Khorasan at the head of a large army. During this period, Babur fought on the side of the Safavid troops against Shaybani Khan. Notwithstanding the alliance between the Safavid Shah Ismail I and Babur, Shaybani was victorious. Turning south, the Uzbeks occupied Kandahar and threatened the home base of Babur in Kabul, both from the north and the south. Fortunately for Babur, Shaybani withdrew from Kandahar after accepting a tribute from the local inhabitants and was killed the same year in a skirmish with the Turkomans. After the death of Shaybani Khan, the Persians successfully reclaimed Khorasan. In return for the help he had received, Shah Ismail permitted Babur to keep any territory in Afghanistan and Farghana that he would wrest from the Uzbeks. Ismail withdrew from Khorasan, leaving his general Yar Ahmad Khuzani as the governor. The independent spirit of Babur found it unacceptable to live with the overlordship of the Safavids. Babur was appalled by the heavy-handedness with which Khuzani forced Ithna Ashari tenets on the predominantly Sunni population of Herat and the brutality with which he killed the inhabitants of the conquered cities. In 1512, at the Battle of Khuzdaban, Babur withheld his support of the Safavids. The Uzbeks were victorious and Khuzani was killed in the battle. Disappointed with his attempts to recapture Samarkand and with the military-political turmoil in Central Asia, Babur turned his attention east towards Hindustan. He considered the throne of Delhi to be his by virtue of his legacy from Timur. Delhi was at this time ruled by Ibrahim Lodi between 1517 and 1526, the last of a dynasty which had ruled India since 1450. Ibrahim, unlike his father Sikandar Lodi, was a political dwarf who could not manage the intrigues in the Delhi court. India was rife with instability. Bengal and Punjab were in revolt. The Rajputs under Rana Sanga were up in arms. Babur made several incursions into India through Khyber Pass and found the military climate favorable. An opportunity to cross the Indus arose when Daulat Khan, governor of Punjab, sought Babur's help against Ibrahim Lodi. The year 1525 saw Babur's armies in Lahore. The following year, he advanced towards Delhi at the head of 18,000 cavalrymen, well armed with muskets and supported by a phalanx of Turkish cannon. Ibrahim Lodi met him on the plains of Panipat in April 1526 with his huge army of over 100,000 backed by war elephants. The Mughal advantage in firearms carried the day. As Babur's artillery fell on the elephants, they turned around and trampled the Indian infantry. Ibrahim Lodi died on the battlefield. Babur was in Delhi and the Mughal Empire was born. Babur advanced along the Gangetic plains, captured Agra in 1526, and moved into Kannauj. The following year, in 1527, in a pitched battle at Kanawa, he overcame the combined resistance of the Rajputs under Rana Sangha of Mewar and of some of the local Muslim chieftains. Ibrahim Lodi's brother Mahmud Lodi escaped from Panipat and raised an army in Bengal. In 1529, this resistance was crushed, and Babur became the undisputed emperor of Hindustan. The Battle of Panipat in 1526 is a turning point in global history. With Babur's victory, the Delhi Sultanate, which had been established in 1192 by Muhammad Ghori, came to an end. Its place was taken by the great Mughal Empire, which consolidated the territories of South Asia and left as its legacy the culture, art, architecture, administration, music, language, cuisine, and customs of modern India, Pakistan, Bangladesh, and Afghanistan. It was the Mughal period that witnessed the first commercial contacts with European powers, which in due course changed the history of Europe and Asia alike. Babur was not only a tireless soldier and a consummate leader, but was a great writer as well. His memoirs, collected under Baburnama, are considered one of the greatest testaments of a ruler and occupy a place in world historiography alongside the memoirs of Caesar. His poignant death brings out not only the sensitivity of his soul, but also the predominant Sufic bent of his times. In 1530, his son Humayun fell ill. The best that medical science had to offer did not cure him, and all hope was lost. Babur raised his hands in prayer to the Almighty, and beseeching him to spare the life of his son, begged to take his life instead. It is related that after the prayer, Babur went around his dying son's bed 7 times, each time repeating his supplication. He died soon thereafter, while his son recovered and became the next emperor of Hindustan. This concludes our session on the victory of Babur at the Battle of Panipat in 1526 and the establishment of the Mughal Empire of South Asia, embracing India, Pakistan, Bangladesh, Afghanistan, and regions beyond. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.